Welcome to lesson number 13, Order of Operations. Order of operations simply means you cannot just work a problem from left to right anymore. There are things you must do first within that problem, even though that thing might come at the end, it may have to be done first. The first thing in the order is parentheses. After parentheses, and you won't run into all of these in the same problem. It'll usually be a choice between one thing or the other coming first. After parentheses is exponents. After exponents is multiply, then divide, then add, then subtract. To remember the order of operations, one way is PEMDAS, that's the first letter of each word. That's easy to remember. Perhaps the most common way students have been remembering this for a very long time is a silly little sentence, "Please excuse my dear Aunt Sally," which has the first letters of each of these words in order. So I did have a student one time who, when realizing that this was the order of operations, told me, "I wondered why they had me memorize that silly little sentence. I never knew what it meant." So this is why one memorizes the silly little sentence. Like, "Please excuse my dear Aunt Sally." It's like impossible to forget. So that's the order of operations. Let's put it into effect, because if you don't use it, you get the wrong answer. The choice here in this problem is to, if you were to subtract first, 15 from 10 would be 5. You divide that by 2, get 2.5, and that's the wrong answer. Because in the order of operations, division comes before subtraction. So this has to be done first. 10 divided by 2 would be 5. 15 then minus 5 equals 10. Another example, 5 times 4 plus 6. Since this one is in the parentheses, that definitely has to come first. So 4 plus 6 is 10. Then we have 5 times 10 equals 50. And here we have 12 minus 6 times 2. Of course, multiplication comes before subtraction. 6 times 2 is 12. 12 minus 12 is 0. And here another parentheses, that should jump out at you as what you always do first. 4 minus 2 is 2. Now we have 7 times 2 times 3. 7 times 2 is 14, and when you multiply 14 by 3, you get 42. The multiplication is equal. So if you did 2 times 3 is 6, then you'd have 7 times 6, which also equals 42. And 8 plus 5 times 2 plus 5. 5 times 2 is the first one to do, that's 10. 8 plus 10 plus 5. So 8 plus 10 is 18, plus 5 would be 23. If you did it the other way, 10 plus 5 is 15, plus 8 is also 23. So, as you know, multiplication is a short form of addition. They are related, and that's why these come out the same. So you need to memorize the order of operations. This is probably the easiest way. Parentheses, exponents, multiply, divide, add, subtract. And once again, you will not be doing a problem of pure order of operations by itself. This will be part of an algebra problem where you are using signed numbers, you may be using exponents, and you may be using order of operations all at the same time within an algebra problem. And that concludes our lesson on order of operations.